Let us do everything within this election period that is in the interest of protecting peace, prosperity, and continuity of our country, Uganda. For God has blessed us with good climate, a nice country that has fertile soils, and majority of us are young and energetic.
Hamis Kiggundu, one of the richest young people in the country, has come out with a political message. He came out to pray for stability in the country. And we must ask ourselves, why is he coming out with such a message? I personally heard the message. It was not so partisan, but it had a conceived message which I would want to unpack you in this video. We all know it is now it's not rare for some people to come out and make political messages. But also it is rare for a rich person in any country to come out and support opposition, most especially in a fragile democracy like Uganda. So in this episode, I've come to unpack for you the meaning of Hamis' message, political message to our country, what it means for our politics, and most importantly, the study materials we can learn from the politics of our nation. But before I do this, I want to let you know that if you're new to this channel, please subscribe. And for watching this video from a different platform, please head on to YouTube, type in Sula Mawagali. There's a lot of content of this nature. If geopolitics and economics is what you want, this will be definitely the right channel for you to subscribe to. First of all, Hamis Kiggundu is one of the youngest, richest people in the country. If, with all matters constant, some people say it's a state project, but for me, I don't normally want to talk about that if I don't have evidence. First of all, every rich person in the country, at least he has to work with government. It is the truth, because government has the biggest budget in the country. Government gives the highest jobs. Government has the is the highest consumer. So if you have to run a business, some of the time you must work in government. Although working with government is not a must that you support that government, just that in Uganda we have a fragile democracy. If you're a rich person and you deviate away from the government, they will come after you. In fact, in bigger democracies, a person can be rich, have contract with government, yet he comes out to put out his dissatisfaction against the political regime and nothing happens. But here in the country, it is different, most especially in Uganda under General Kaguta Museveni. But away from that, we must first unpack Hamis' message. What does it mean? Before I proceed, I want to play a tape when Ham was calling for stability. Here's the tape.
To all my fellow Ugandans, and by the names of Kigundu Hamis, a youth like all you know, mainly known as Ham, I know we are facing a very big challenge in the upcoming elections because we all have different political sides. Everyone has a right to choose a candidate of their choice. But I stand for Uganda, for peace and continuity of our country. Let us concentrate on things that unite us rather than those that divide us. And in this particular perspective, it is Uganda as a nation that we belong to. We are all Ugandans, regardless of the tribes we belong to, regardless of the religion, we still remain Ugandans. Let us do everything within this election period that is in the interest of protecting peace, prosperity, and continuity of our country, Uganda. For God has blessed us with good climate, a nice country that has fertile soils, and majority of us are young and energetic. Let us look forward to being productive, reasonable, and taking Uganda forward under the umbrella of unity, but mainly ensuring that Uganda is peaceful now, during the elections, and after the elections. United we stand strong like a rock, and divided we shall fall. Or we shall be weak like sand, just to be blown away by the wind. I call for peace and continuity of Uganda. In whatever you do during this election period, let us make sure Uganda comes first, and let us promote peace and continuity of our nation, Uganda, for God and my country.
That is Hamis Kiggundu. First of all, Hamis Kiggundu did not come out to endorse any political leader. Okay? He didn't come out to say vote for this one. But if you put on lens and you look through the world, we understand the message. You know, in fragile democracies, rich people don't come out to attack the government because the government will come after you. The only rich people who can come out and have a different opinion from government is in bigger democracies, not these hours. So him coming out to say that they must be peaceful, and he also prays for stability because he has a lot of things to lose. Okay? The reason as to why leaders must also work hard to lift people from poverty is that whenever a country is stable and people have what to do, they may not engage in violence because they have what to protect. It's different in Uganda. Uganda is one of the countries with the highest poverty index rate. Okay? So if you tell someone to do something, you'll do it. Uganda is one of the countries with the highest human rights abuses because the regime wants to force support, which is not supposed to be the case. In case the regime must work for the people. I pity how NRM government thinks. Instead of coercing people to support you, what you need to do is to service delivery. If I go in the hospital and I find treatment there with medicine, even if a politician tells me that there is no medicine, yet I found it, I'll see him as a liar. But if a politician tells me that there is no treatment in hospital and I go there, I never found it, and I don't find it, I'll take it as truth. For example, a few weeks back, I went to Kigundu, okay, with my mom for treatment. There was no drugs, yet he had gone for treatment, and on top of that, there were very many people. Kigundu is over-congested. So if I come out to say that we have poor health care, it is the truth. Yet our leaders go outside like Sam Kutesa to be treated. So the reason as why Ham Kigundu is coming out to pray for stability is that he has a lot of things to lose. He has billions in investments, putting all matters constant. Every rich person would ask the same prayer so that the status quo remains for him to get money. In fact, many rich people in fragile democracies, okay, they support each and every government that comes. They are not loyal to any government. Okay? Because they don't want to be destabilized. The only rich people who come out to support a government is in a good democracy. So Ham's message has something inside that amidst all elections and everything, ask for stability. Because stability means status quo. And status quo means that his property and everything will not be destabilized. But Ham, you should also understand, but us who want change, sometimes change comes with instability. Some of the time, by the way, sweet instability. Because when they were overthrowing Obote, it was an instability, but it brought a good leader who now is turning bad. So change comes with instability, comes with uncomfortableness. Okay? And that is what we want. We want regime change. Sometimes the regime change is like a sour pill. You have to be healed, yet you also have to bear the sourness. And since we want change, I don't expect that after Gen MUSEVENI is gone, it can remain business as usual, because Gen MUSEVENI is the institution, and he doesn't show any signs of letting power go. He's now grooming his son, which is unfortunate. We don't want a succession. We want a transition and constitutionalism. What pains me more, I am even scared to say this, is Uganda is going to go in anarchy. I pray hard that we don't go in anarchy, but it is the truth. If I tell you that when you walk on water you will drown, I don't want you to drown. I'm only telling you the truth. Every country that has been at this juncture with a dictator who has served for very many years, if the dictator doesn't come out to realize the problem of a country so that he can solve it before he's gone, that country goes back to anarchy and fighting. I can give you very many countries: Sierra Leone, Ghana, Central African Republic, Sudan, Zimbabwe. There is always anarchy whenever a leader stays in power and doesn't solve the problem of that country. The problem of Uganda has always been transition. And Gen MUSEVENI doesn't want to let go of his power. He's grooming his son. And his son is not a Democrat. He boasts about abducting. He boasts about killings. He threatens people's lives. Is tribal, and that is a risk for disaster. And what scares me more is the disaster will begin from within the system, not even as the opposition. It will begin from within the system because there are very many sober leaders who see that the country is going forward and they may want to rectify it. When they want to rectify it, it will lead to disastrous moment. Of course, that's my opinion. Do make much by commenting about this. Thank you very much for listening in. If this is your first time on this YouTube channel, I pray you subscribe, like, and comment so that I can be motivated to do more of such videos. Let me also take this opportunity to tell you that I'll be running as a member of parliament for Makinde East constituency in 2026. I'm going to come back and ask for your vote because I'm the only credible leader who has a vision, who has ideas which can transform this country on a parliamentary level. In fact, Parliament will be honored to have my brain inside because my brain has matter, not form. It has issues which can transform for the betterment of this country. And even harm is in my constituency, by the way. I will see you on another one. Peace. Nange benjagala obulungi.